Hello, friends, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Normally, Wellness Wednesday is held inside of my private Facebook group, the Wellness Circle. However, Facebook is being a little difficult today, if you will. So I'm going to share this link out to my Facebook group members. Hopefully, you guys are able to join me over here. Fun stuff. Yeah. I'm super thrilled. So today we're talking about juicing versus smoothies. Is there a difference? Hopefully I'll get to the bottom of why I can't post where I'm supposed to be able to post soon enough. But this is based on bonus content basically for the Root Cause Revolution podcast, episode 208, where we talked about juicing versus smoothies. And I'm sure you've heard tons about juicing versus smoothies, especially with celery juice still being super popular. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the differences between juicing and blending, or juicing and smoothies, and when one might be right for you and when the other one could be. Now, the similarities are simple, right? Both options are finding healthy ways to get more fresh nutrients from fruits and vegetables into our bodies. The key difference is in how they're prepared. So with juicing, you're separating the indigestible fibers from the juice itself. Now, this is really helpful if you're trying to avoid strain on your digestive system, right? So if you are resting your digestive system but still need to get all the nutrients, then juicing is a really good way to do that because your body doesn't have to work through all of that fiber. But fiber, as you know, is really good. So it's not something that you want to do long term. There are lots of nutrients in juices, and they are absorbed very rapidly into your bloodstream, but much faster than you would get it if you had eaten those same fruits and veggies raw. But if you are not having problems with fiber irritating your digestive system, then you want to use smoothies. Basically, you want to blend, right? With smoothies, you're using your blender, you're putting the whole piece of produce in there. You're using the blender to pulverize it into not a liquid like juice, but a smoothie kind of thicker consistency. So let me know in the comments if you've tried juicing or smoothies before and kind of how you felt about each one. I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments. The blender helps to break down fiber for easier digestion, but maintains that fiber. They don't cause the same spike in blood sugar as juicing. So if you're hearing me and you're thinking, well, gosh, Audrey, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, then smoothies are going to be more beneficial for you than juicing. Okay. So there is something important about both of these that most people don't realize, and that is to get the full benefit of juices or smoothies, you have to drink them immediately. So what do you think that means for the packaged juices that we're seeing in the grocery stores? Probably not going to be a good idea, right? They start to oxidize, right? You get the most nutrients right when you make it within about 15 minutes. After that 15 minutes, they start to degrade. Now, this doesn't mean you make yourself a whole blender full of smoothie and you have to drink it straight away, but you do need to drink it pretty rapidly. Another thing you can do to preserve some of those nutrients is to pack your produce in a sealed mason jar the night before, and then you just dump it in your smoothie. They also have those nifty little blenders to go for smoothies as well. But what you want to make sure you're doing, though, is juicing only on occasion. So people think celery juice is the fountain of youth, it's the end all be all. Absolutely not. You have to have that fiber. Celery juice can provide you with some good stuff, but you'd be much better off getting yourself a high-powered blend tech, maybe a Ninja, but blend tech's really where it's at, blender, and blending that up until it is completely smooth. Okay. Now, so smoothie has fiber, correct? So with fiber, you are enhancing your the gut flora, right? You're improving your digestion unless your digestive tract is too injured for that. With a juice, you're getting fast nutrients. Now with the smoothie, you're still getting fast nutrients, but you're also getting the benefit of fiber. So who would I say not to use a smoothie? If you're at the very beginning of your healing journey and you are having trouble, you get bloating and gas and all of these issues, no matter what kind of food you eat, If any kind of raw food crosses your palate, then you are having digestive issues. Then we might look to some juicing to get us over the hump. But the juicing is not going to heal your gut. It's just going to give you those nutrients really, really rapidly. And it also can increase your gut motility. So it pushes those nutrients through in a much, much faster rate. All right, I'm just popping in to see the comments here, especially since my people from Facebook could not come over because of, thanks, Facebook, giving me all the grief here. So let me know, do you drink your smoothies immediately, or do you try to use them do you try to save them for the next day, or try to make a batch at a time? You don't want to make more than a few bottles of juice, right? The second thing you want to remember, no matter if you choose juicing or smoothies, is to get the right equipment, okay? The differences can be subtle, but it does require the right equipment to make it happen. So if you prefer juicing, or if you are in a position where juicing is necessary for you on your healing journey, then you want to get a nice cold press juicer. You don't want one of the macerating juicers. You want a cold press juicer. Now, with a cold press juicer, the one I recommend is an Omega brand. They've got some newer models out. I think I've had my model for 6 or 7 years now. And that thing is easy to clean up. It lasts through everything. I'm telling you, we have overstuffed it. We have let kids mash down into it. It's sturdy, it's handy, it cleans up in a breeze. The pieces are easy to put together. Can't recommend it enough. I will put a link to that in the description below in case you want to look at that juicer. It's less than $300, but again, it lasts a long, long time. If you are using a blender, most people have a blender in your home, right? But if yours is one of those $20, $30 Walmart blenders, probably not going to get the job done. Usually people who start out with those blenders are the ones that are saying like, Audrey, I really did not like my smoothie. Okay. It really was not good. Right. So you don't necessarily have to go for the Blend Tech, kind of a nice in between the $30 one that makes a decent margarita, and the Blend Tech one is a Ninja, and the Ninja is around about $89 to $130, depending on what components you buy with it. I believe ours was $99, and it's got the big square blender and then the 2 individual blendy cups. Most of the time, unless a kiddo's making a smoothie, the blendy cups aren't very helpful. For adults, you want to make a much larger smoothie. Now, a lot of times people want to know, Audrey, what is your favorite smoothie recipe? And you might be surprised to know that it does not have any powders or potions or anything special in it. It's just whole foods. I take whatever greens I have in the fridge. I take a frozen banana, and I take about a cup of frozen wild blueberries. If I'm out of blueberries, whatever frozen fruit I have in the fridge, put it on a smoothie, add some water, blend it up, and it's done. It tastes good, just a hint of sweet, and it has a lot of the nutrients that I may or may not get during the day. Without frozen blueberries, I'm not getting a lot of those antioxidants, frozen wild blueberries. That's another question everybody wants to know. Wild blueberries or organic blueberries? Organic blueberries they're bigger and they're sweeter. Wild blueberries are much smaller and they're much brighter blue, and they have a much more intense impact of your antioxidant levels. All right, let me pop in, see what questions we have, looking on both of the feeds here. All right. All right. So let me know in the comments, which is your favorite, juicing or smoothies, and why? For about 80% of people, whether you have a chronic illness or not, smoothies are going to be the way to go. Avoid your whey protein powders, all that other junk. All you need is some greens, kale, spinach, spring greens, and even romaine lettuce will work. And oftentimes what we do in our house is when we notice that the greens are about to go bad, right? So if I overbought greens at the grocery store, I just take them and put them in a gallon zippy bag, zip it up, tuck it in the freezer, and that becomes the smoothie greens, right? Because in the freezer, they last forever. You're not worried about texture when you're putting them in the freezer, and it gives you that boost of energy. Again, my favorite brand of blender is going to be Ninja. My favorite brand of juicer is Omega. Times when you would use juices, that's a really good question, Jess. So the times that you would use juicing would be if you already have really significant gut damage and you're not able to digest and absorb nutrients. So normally I would have somebody do a hair minerals analysis test. And that gives us an idea of how much nutrients they're pulling from their food. So the first thing we're going to do is add something like a digestive enzyme. And then from there, we may add some juices. Juices can also be used during particular detox phases. So if you test high for heavy metals, then there are certain cilantro, blueberries, certain fruits and vegetables that you can use to help the body get rid of those toxins a little bit faster. All right. Okay, friends. So I will add the smoothie recipe below. Again, nothing fancy, just, what was that, 3 ingredients? Greens, blueberries, and a frozen banana. You throw it all in the blender. Here's a good tip. If your smoothie tastes like yard clippings, that's what everybody wants, like fresh cut grass in their morning smoothie. If your smoothie tastes like yard clippings, all you have to do is add a little bit of lemon juice. This also works for juice, okay? It also works for juice. And you can enhance the digestibility. It does make it spicy, but enhance the digestibility and rev up your metabolism by adding a little bit of jalapeno, a little bit of ginger, that sort of thing. All right, friends, so sorry for the technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking through it. I'm not sure if you joined me from Facebook or if you were just hanging out here on YouTube. Either way, thank you so much. I'm always rooting for you, friends. Be well.